Good morning, my darlings. Welcome back to the dressing room. This used to be my favourite spot to start videos, and then I feel like when I'm having work done in here, I just like to vacate the dressing room completely because, if I'm honest, having so much clutter around me makes me very anxious, and you can actually still see some remnants of all the mess that's in here, but hopefully within the next week that should be sorted, because what's left down here is basically little bits and bobs for the powder room. Obviously it's like the toilet, the actual, who knew there are so many parts to a toilet? All the different toilet parts are down there. The second sink is down there, and then I've collated all of my beauty products up here as well, which need to be hopefully very soon organised into the shelves in the powder room. Andrew, our lovely decorator, is coming on Tuesday. I think it's probably going to take him a full week to get that room painted, because obviously it's inside the cupboards, and also the wallpaper. And I did decide to go for the bold big floral pattern. I think about 80% of you agreed with me that the bold was the best choice when I showed you in a couple of vlogs ago. At the moment I'm filming 2 vlogs ahead, so I'm always kind of responding to the comments from 2 vlogs ago, which I appreciate is probably very annoying, but I like to try and keep a little bit ahead so that it gives me a bit more flexibility editing wise. So yes, I've gone for the big bold floral. Maybe what we'll do in a second is I'll unwrap one of these and we can go and have a look at a really big section of it just before the wallpapering actually happens, because once it's up for good, or at least for like 10 years. Do you know what actually cinched my decision? And it was looking at how these wallpapers look in a room as opposed to just a sample, and the little tiny one which you've seen in the last vlog, Charlie and I have basically decided that that's going to be the wallpaper in the upstairs master bedroom at the cottage. I just thought it looked a little bit itty bitty and very cottagecore-y, which I love, but I want to go bold in the powder room, so we've gone for these. I think after I take you in there in a second to look at the wallpaper on the wall, I'm probably not going to show you any painting updates or any updates throughout the next week. There won't be anything going on in this vlog because it's currently the Easter weekend, so no tradesmen are working. Yeah, I don't think I'll show you again because I'd like to do a little bit of styling in there when it's done, when all the sinks and things are in, and just show you a finished room, so it might be a bit more dramatic that way as opposed to showing you little itty bitty bits. But anyway, as I said, it's Easter weekend. I'm just going to do a really quick natural makeup look, and I'm actually putting to the test a new, I want to say gadget, kind of. It's basically this incredible beauty mirror that I was very kindly sent, and it is the coolest mirror in the whole world. So I'm going to try and show you. It might make the camera light go a bit crazy. If I actually turn it off, you'll see the difference that the lighting in the mirror makes. So that's it off. So it's basically a ring light. I'll show you. It's basically a ring light within a mirror, and it's this gorgeous almost rose gold, but not quite as pink as a rose gold, which is great because I haven't got any rose gold in this room. My metal in here is more of like almost a brassy shade, but this color just seems to go with everything. The brand is Hi Bella, and it is called their Glamour. I will leave it linked down below, but let me show you how cool this is. So basically it's got a little on button down here. You can plug it in at the back. It does hold battery, so if you don't want to have it plugged in while you're using it, that's fine, but it's got a little on button here. And then as you can see, it illuminates, and it's got a few different settings. So there's this one setting which is like a sensor. So when you move your face up to the mirror, then it illuminates, and then when you move away from the mirror, it turns itself off, which is so clever. I'm going to do my hair with you guys in a second as well. It is very, very poof at the moment. And then also, it is a look at the tripod you're on. You are sat on some living proof hairspray. Oh my goodness. It's basically got, I don't know if you can see, a sensor pad here. So you can turn the brightness up and down just by scrolling your hand up and down on the sensor. So I'm very, very happy with this, very grateful to have been sent one of those. So I'm going to do my makeup in this mirror now. And something else that someone actually mentioned to me, so you may remember, this is the one that used to live up here in the dressing room, but something that someone said, which actually concerned me a little bit about this mirror, is that when I'm not in the room, or even when I am in the room, because it's so close to the window, oh my gosh, it's literally just broken. Typical. But anyway, even if it hadn't just broken, because it's double-sided, the sun could potentially reflect in from this window and cause a bit of a fire safety hazard, which is not ideal, plus the fact that it's now broken. But yeah, I think this looks absolutely beautiful. Did you see when I leaned in then it started to illuminate itself? I have never known anything so clever as this. So makeup-wise, I have a new product that I would like to try out this morning. So when I am going for those slightly more natural or basically no makeup days, but as you probably saw from my reflection a second ago, my skin just always needs a little something because it's a bit uneven in colour, especially where when I first looked at my reflection in this, it is magnifying. So I had a real go at my chin and I basically squeezed every spot known to mankind. So I'm particularly red this morning. This is new from Aborian, and Aborian is my go-to for super duper light bases. So this is actually a primer. I'm going to pop this on first. This is illuminating face cream, but Aborian are the brand that I think of instantly when it comes to BB and CC creams. This is their new one. It is their CC Water. So really lovely and fresh and lightweight and hydrating. So I'm going to pop that on first, and then I often do my makeup downstairs, but I think when the powder room is done, I'm definitely going to want to do my makeup up here more. So I've got quite a few of my favourite products up here. This arrived as a blogger mail yesterday as well, sculpted by Amy Connolly. There were some lovely products within this little PR gift. This is the Complete Cover-Up Concealer. I might pop that on my chin and any other red areas before popping on the CC, just for a little bit of extra coverage. And also in the delivery was this gorgeous brush. I love a fluffy but also fairly dense brush for popping on my foundation. So I'm going to apply... It just lit up again because I got a little close. That is so clever. I'm going to apply that with this. And then what else? It's always fun doing my makeup up here because it's not my normal products. What's this? Ooh, the Chantecaille highlight. Yes, I'll definitely use that. Ooh, I have my La Mer bronzer up here. I definitely just need to finish this because it's actually getting a little bit old, but it would be sacrilege to not use up a La Mer bronzer. And then I feel like I had a new lip discovery the other day. What was it? Ooh, these lovely lipsticks from NARS. So this is just the most beautiful colour. As you can see, it's quite a mattified looking lipstick, but it's still really balmy. This is from their Cloudette collaboration. I just like experimenting with new makeup on the weekends. So in my perfectly illuminated complexion, oh my gosh, I'm going to pop a natural makeup look on, and then let's have a little look at the wallpaper situation. It's actually quite scary. I don't think I've ever really seen my skin so up close and in such good lighting. I actually think I need to speak to a facialist about veins. I've got quite a lot of like broken capillaries in my nose, and I didn't quite realise how bad they were until I looked in this mirror. I'm not really one to like fully inspect my complexion. I'm not, you know, if my skincare routine is good and overall it looks glowy, I'm usually happy, but I can see I do have quite a lot of veins in my nose. So if anyone has any really good facialist recommendations, someone that can sort out veins, and I've also got that kind of like moles that are underneath the skin on my schnoz, and I would quite like to sort them out. So leave your UK, London-ish facialist recommendations down below. Right, now let's stop squeezing spots and put some makeup on. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting this to be the texture that it is. Let me show you close up. I'm about to pop a little bit more on my forehead. It is literally clear with these little white bubbles in it, and then when I popped it on my skin, you can see the colour on my hand. It just gave the most flattering, super duper lightweight coverage. That is absolutely gorgeous. Definitely more of like a serum consistency than creamy. Definitely not what I was expecting, but Aborian is always surprising me, these incredible Korean innovations within skincare. You may have seen I popped I can't really show you. I popped my concealer on first, thinking this would be a little bit more kind of, well, foundation-y, which is silly of me because Aborian BB and CC creams are always so lightweight, but this is definitely what you would pop on first, and then I'm going to go back in and add some concealer to those areas that need a bit more coverage. Just making me be so much more precise with how I'm doing my makeup, because everything is so well illuminated and magnified at a level that I've never done my makeup before. I feel like I'm being such a perfectionist. Like every eyelash has to be in the perfect place, every eyebrow hair has to be perfectly tweezed. You might have seen I got a bit carried away plucking my eyebrows, which I've actually not done since maybe September or October last year. Maybe I've just not been looking close enough. But if you are a perfectionist, if you like to do really intricate eyeshadow, for example, or if you do have to pluck your own eyebrows, I'm saying if you have to pluck your own because my eyebrows barely grow, so I very rarely have to touch them. But this is so good for those really precise jobs, and I've never been so like critical of my makeup's texture before, purely because I've probably never really seen it so up close. But this is turning me into such a perfectionist. It is a makeup application experience like no other. This is literally game-changing. So really impressed with this. That was lovely to apply, and I love the finish. It did make me so glowy, and I did do like a full-on skincare routine in the shower this morning as well. It did make me so glowy that I popped on a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, which I've got up here. I might add a little bit of blush, my favourite by Terry Amber Light. And then I think I'm actually going to switch the lipstick because my lips are particularly dry today. Charlotte Tilbury Super Size Me Lip Cheat. And then Bare Minerals Bare Pro in the shade Spice. I do love this one and it's so balmy. Okay, very happy with that. And then I don't know if anyone else does this, but sometimes at the end of a makeup routine, I like to just kind of blend everything in together. I think this is perfect, this sculpted Amy Connolly brush, because as I said, it's fairly fluffy, but it's got enough density to it. And it's also got the smaller one at the top. Great for any under eye creases, which I'm noticing so much more in this mirror. I honestly don't think I've ever been such a perfectionist with my makeup before. If you're into squeezing spots, you need this. Okay, so that is my makeup done. I'm now going to quickly whiz my Dyson through my hair, and then we'll get on with the day. Here we go, we have got the wallpaper in the room, and oh my goodness, I feel like seeing this wallpaper has made me even more certain that this is the right decision. I just love these massive bold florals. As I've said in the past, I'm not sure if you can, yeah, you can see, it's a little bit glittery, which is the one thing that I wish I could change about it. But of all the many samples I've tried, this one is by far my favourite, and I think your favourite as well from all of your lovely comments. Thank you to everyone that helped me come to this decision. So let me try and show you a slightly bigger sample. It's actually very hard to show you without putting the camera on a tripod because I can't get far enough back, but I think this gives you an idea of how bold and fabulous the pattern of the wallpaper is, and you can just get an idea of how amazing it's going to look in this room. I think this is actually upside down. A few of the blooms are pointing downwards, but yeah, very excited to see this transformation. So take a good look at this room now, and I will give you an update in probably just over a week, and hopefully it'll be looking 1,000,000 times more fabulous. Okay, it's actually a couple of hours later. We have just had a lovely brunch, a nice scrambled egg and Cotswold bloomer sourdough, which was absolutely scrumptious. And before I go downstairs and do a very exciting unboxing, I would like to quickly tell you about today's video sponsor, which is Skillshare. So Skillshare is an online learning community, and I've actually spoken about Skillshare before if you've been on my channel for a long time, back when we visited Cambodia, because what you may know about me is that I love to multitask, and one of the things I love to multitask with, especially when I'm doing something that's maybe a little bit monotonous, like planting my seeds, is I like to be bettering myself in some way, whether that's working on my creativity or learning a new skill, and that's where Skillshare is absolutely amazing. So one of the things that I get asked about a lot is kind of tips for this industry, so YouTube and Instagram tips, and I would say that Skillshare is just the #1 hub for all of this kind of information. One of the classes that I had on in the background the other day was all about video for Instagram, so it's all about telling an inspiring story in less than a minute. So that was like a little short series, but on Skillshare you can see an introductory video to, for example, a topic, whether that's gardening or cooking or social media. You can watch the introduction video and then you can follow along for an entire course. So it's kind of like bite-sized chunks. So if you are looking for something to boost your creativity, then that's a really great way of doing it. I think this is something which is particularly great for us to use while we're at home, and I feel like we all recognise the importance of maximising our productivity, maximising our creativity, and that's something that Skillshare is particularly good for, no matter what subject you want to delve into. It could be lifestyle, it could be photography. There are also so many amazing classes on productivity. One that I found particularly amazing, and it's particularly great if you are perhaps going back into the office and you're going to be back into meetings and things like that. It was called Productivity Today, Managing Attention in the Digital Age. So what I love about Skillshare is that it's such a huge community. There were over, I think, 50,000 members of this particular course, and of course you can chat to them, you can discuss your thoughts, discuss your learnings. In fact, I'm going to leave this particular one about managing attention in the digital age link down below, because I think it was so good. There were loads of different kind of like subcategories, so you can really zoom in on the one that interests you the most, or you can watch the whole thing. There are a few different sub lessons like managing distractions, prioritizing the right tasks, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I just find it so overwhelming when I have a ginormous to-do list and I don't know where to start, so that was particularly useful. So essentially it's a great place to continue your learning, join a lovely community of like-minded people, and as I'm working with Skillshare, I will have a link in the description box, and the first 1,000 people that sign up to the link will get a free trial of the Skillshare premium membership, which is kind of like Netflix in that it unlocks everything, you have full access, and after that it's only around $10 a month, so about the price of a couple of cups of takeaway coffee. But I am going to watch one now which is called All About Tomatoes, A Gardener's Guide to Growing Tomatoes Organically by Tiffany Selvey, and it's 37 minutes long, so nice and bite-sized, and there are 764 students also taking part in that, so you can just brainstorm your ideas with them, and it's that community aspect that I absolutely love. So that's what I'm going to tune in on. But now before I head into the greenhouse, I've got something very exciting which I would like to unbox with you. Now this is a very exciting delivery indeed. I hope the wind isn't messing with the camera microphone too much. I ordered these a couple of weeks ago after I actually asked Charlie to keep an eye out on his antique website trawling for some cast iron cloches to protect my little seedlings when they first get planted out from any frosts. And Charlie found this company called Claverton Cloches. I believe they only started during the first lockdown, but instantly I just fell in love with their cloches. They are the most beautiful quality. They are of a premium price, so it was an investment. I definitely treated myself, but they have arrived. I actually already undid one last night, but I'm just going to undo these two because we might actually get a little Easter frost this weekend. So yes, I'm going to unpackage these, set them all up, and then I'll show you just how fabulous they're going to look. the made up cloche. Isn't it just absolutely beautiful? This is my second one that I've put together. Third one is down in the box there. We have 3 raised beds, so gosh, I just think they're going to be so beautiful as well as so functional, and where they are just such good quality cast iron. And there's something special about this glass, or maybe it's, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's glass. Obviously frostproof and very resistant. I just think they're absolutely stunning. I'm all for making a statement down in the kitchen garden where possible. And it came with this lovely handwritten note, as well as an introduction to cloche gardening booklet, which I'm going to have a real good read through this afternoon with my cup of tea. I'm just loving discovering so much more as I learn more about gardening, ventilation during hot weather, of course, protection from animals. I can pop my leeks in here so they don't get snuffled by the little rabbits that are in the garden. Oh, great for germinating as well, of course, for keeping the soil warm underneath. So yes, I'm going to have a little look through there. As I unboxed this one as box number 2 instead of box number 1, I actually didn't read through this. I just kind of figured it out. The only thing I'm unsure of is how I've done the little clips at the side, although it does look like I've done them right. It just says to twist them back, and I've actually twisted mine back into little heart shapes. And yes, they are in Bath, which is the other side of the Cotswolds to us. But again, as you know, Charlie and I just love to support local companies. So I'm sure I probably could have got these for 1/10 of the price if I had ordered some from China. But how lovely that these are handmade just at the other end of the Cotswolds. Gosh, everything is really starting to grow in the greenhouse as we enter April, a prime growing month. I can't wait to get our shed. Did I update you that we're getting it in May now? We don't have to wait till June, so all of this rubbish can hopefully be removed. But I'm going to give everything a quick water. So funny how the cosmos that Lila had in her window just grew so much more, and they're starting to show a little bit more sign of life, but the ones that were in such a warm place have done so much better. My sweet peas definitely need to get planted out, but I think I'll wait until after the Easter weekend frosts. I mean, these are getting so heavy they're flopping over. I hope they'll be okay. Gosh, this was my miscellaneous tray, where if I had anything left over or I just dropped something on the floor, I chucked it in here along with the grow bar, and the peas are doing really well. And I think I said in a previous vlog that I'd never seen a bit of seed paper actually grow, and this one, was this from Decor or Honest Beauty? This one was from Honest Beauty. Their press release is actually starting to show some signs of life. At the weekend, I do give them a tiny bit of feed. I have an organic plant feeder that is quite mild, and it's fine for things that you're going to eat. So I just pop a tiny bit of that in with the water when I plant them, when I water them at the weekends. So hopefully that might give them another little growth spurt. I think these peas will be ready to go out very soon indeed. Some of them, as you can see, I'm still watering even though there are no signs of life, in the hope that they might just be very slow germinators. But that's a good thing about, well, not that these are, but using my recycled pots, is that I don't feel like I've wasted any money on containers for things that aren't growing very well. So in full prep for the frost, the cloches are on over the broad beans. I've given everything a good water, and then I've popped some fleece over my little seedlings. The carrots are out in the open, but they're so unestablished. I think they'll be okay, so fingers crossed my little kitchen garden survives the Easter frosts. Good morning, my darlings. I'm sorry yesterday's vlog ended abruptly, but we actually ended up going to see Charlie's parents. Well, Charlie's family. We saw his grandparents as well, obviously outside in their garden. It was the first time Charlie had seen his family since Christmas, so it was really, really lovely. Last minute decision because the weather suddenly got beautiful, so we were like, let's just get in the car, let's just go. So that was so, so nice. Today is now Easter Sunday and I am just about to do a little bit of rolling of my hot cross buns. Just whizzed up the mixture in the Thermomix and it's a glorious day, so we're going to head out for a walk. As you might be able to tell, I'm wearing my gardening gear over the top of a potentially photogenic outfit. So we're going to go to the daffodil fields and then I'm going to continue with my kitchen garden progress. Well, if this isn't postcard perfect, then I don't know what is. We have come to the farm a couple of fields across from us and I'm so happy that they're doing this. They're doing pick your own daffodils this year. It's the same farm that did the pick your own sunflowers last year, and they're also going to be doing a pumpkin patch in autumn. I can't believe this is on our doorstep. It's actually not open to the public until the 12th, but the lovely family that run it, they were very grateful for the sunflower pictures we took last year, and they asked if we could pop down and get some snaps here in the daffodil field. As if I needed asking twice, I was like, yes, thank you so much. They've actually been down here themselves this morning with their little boys doing an Easter egg hunt in here. How wholesome is that? So we've just got some lovely snaps. I've got changed my wellies for my little flats, and then we're going to continue on our walk. But I popped on my Love Shack fancy cardigan and dress from Outdazzle, and it's just rather gorgeous here. Also going to be having an epic Charlie Irons roast later on today. He's got the veg out ready. How are my buns looking? They need to rise a little bit more, and then I'll do the crosses, add some little pressed flowers onto the top, and they should be absolutely delicious. I added a little bit more spice in this mixture, like cinnamon and mixed spice, so hopefully they'll be really tasty. So as I ordered these edible flowers last week, I'm determined to make everything that I make floral this week, including my hot cross buns. So what I'm going to do just while I prepare the icing is actually press these just underneath a book just for 10 minutes to flatten them out, and then hopefully they will be in a prime state to go on the buns before I add the crosses. haven't popped flowers on all of them because half of me thinks they're just going to crisp up and shrivel up in the oven. So what I might do is pop these ones on at the end, just before I pop on the glaze. But these are going to go into the Argonaut for 20 minutes. One thing I would say is I wouldn't recommend getting cheap icing bags from Amazon. As you can see, it all just spilled out from the sides. Luckily I had plenty of icing. I say icing, it's basically flour, water and a little bit of sugar. But yeah, I think these look rather lovely. Let's hope they don't all turn black with the flowers in the oven. Fingers crossed, because I'm just about ready to enjoy these with a nice cup of coffee. Go. I'm very chuffed with how these turned out actually. So some of the flowers I popped on before the glaze, some of them I just whacked on after the glaze, and then even the ones where we got an example, okay, they're a little bit shriveled, but even the ones that went through the oven have still retained their colour, which is wonderful. So we've got our coffees to take a little break from our gardening, and they look blooming good. Afternoon sun down here in the garden. I think there's a dust spot on the camera and it's making it look like I've got a very funny nose, but we are about to hopefully plant our dahlias. I say hopefully because I'm running very low on compost. I have ordered 20 bags though. It worked out much cheaper getting the bags as opposed to the bulk bag, which is very strange. So I've got 20 bags of compost hopefully coming in the next couple of days. I did have one bag of cow compost left, so hopefully my dahlias will like it. I've got a couple that were in these paper bags that I picked up from local garden centres. So this one could grow up to 90 centimetres, the peaches, and that's in here. And dahlias are pretty easy to plant, so they look like these little dried, shriveled up bulbs, but this is known as a tuber, and you have to find the stem, which is this middle bit here. Make sure that's facing up. So I've got a little bit of compost down here at the bottom, and then you kind of hold it in place, and then as you pack the compost around it, you just keep giving the dahlia a little bit of a wiggle so the compost gets all between the tubers to support itself, and then make sure it's nice and watered in. So I'm going to see if I've got any more compost lying around, then hopefully I can plant this one. But I think my others are going to have to wait until my big delivery comes, which hopefully might be in the next couple of days. I received a lovely blogger mail from Lumine earlier in the week, and each of these information cards is planted on seed paper. So I have got all the different cards, which Dexter is investigating, and these little trays, which are salads from quince and clover, came in last week. So I'm just going to pop some holes in the bottom of these with my scissors, and then plant my seed paper. Now with seed paper, I'm never too sure if you're meant to pop soil on top or not. So as you can see, I've done a real mixture here, and this will be a really good experiment. My Honest Beauty press release is showing a few signs of life with some little buds inside. I'm not going to lie, I'm very excited until I can move everything out of the greenhouse and into the garden, because It's starting to be very, very time consuming doing all the watering in here. I did these about 20 minutes ago, and you can see the soil, especially on these, this is kale actually, is already bone dry again. It's bonkers. Wowza, my lily of the valley from QVC is looking really good. The basil's come back to life. This was looking really sad the other day. My sweet peas are desperate to go outside. They are really, really reaching. I just need to get the bed ready. I need to really get cracking on that. And then these little peonies, we were trying to move them from, oh, a little spider on my arm. We were trying to move them from the bed which has got all the mint in it. These ones sadly snapped as we were moving them, so I've just popped some root growth hormone on these, and then they've gone in my Dalesford coffee cup with some soil, so hopefully they'll come back to life and develop some new roots. And then as for my recycling containers, I've also got some soup pots from my quince and clover lunches last week. I'll pop them in there. This is where I generally keep all of my recyclable bits ready to be used as plant pots. I put one of my dahlias down there. Gosh, it is toasty in here, but yes, lots of really good signs of life. I think my cauliflower and my broccoli can go out very soon. I'll probably just wait for that soil to dry out, so maybe I'll do those a little bit later on this evening. And these peas are also most definitely ready to go. I might actually plant these broad beans out now and then pop my cloches over the top of them for this evening, because I wouldn't be surprised if we get another frost tonight. I honestly don't know how much longer this camera is going to last, because I am doing my camera turning on and pressing the record button with hands that look like this, but we shall see. Hopefully it's a little bit hardier than my previous cameras. Next thing I'm going to plant is more broad beans, and these are the ones which I grew in the toilet roll tubes, which is a particularly good way of doing broad beans, because they do have very long, what's called tap roots, so the roots grow really, really long, and toilet rolls decompose really, really easily. So what you can do is actually plant this whole thing. You can see the root is starting to come out the bottom, but if I make these holes in the ground a little bit bigger, I can actually plant the whole thing, and there'll be little to no root disturbance for this little broad bean. And after an afternoon in the garden, we are very much ready for our Easter roast. Charlie's had a pork in the oven all day long, and we're treated to this gorgeous, gorgeous sunny afternoon in the most beautiful setting.